Have you ever been judged solely by your appearance? Have you ever felt as though the entire world has turned its back on you, denying you the chance to truly be yourself? Today, let's listen together to a special story about Lena Caldwell, a simple woman who stepped into the most luxurious store in Beverly Hills, only to be treated like someone unworthy of respect. But what happened next made the whole world pause and look deep within itself. This isn't just a story, it's a lesson that each of us needs to remember. The revolving glass door slowly opened, leaving behind the soft, late afternoon sunlight of Beverly Hills. A gentle breeze brushed against the simple white linen dress, causing the fabric to float softly, like a bird's wing amidst a forest of silk and jewels. Lena Caldwell, 31 years old, stepped into the sparkling space of De Lumiere, the most renowned luxury jewelry store on Rodeo Drive. No one, among those slowly strolling between the lavish display cases, glanced back at her. No makeup, no designer bag, no pleading gaze, just a woman whose appearance was far too simple by the standards here. A white linen dress, soft leather flats, hair tied neatly into a small bun. On her shoulder was a faded tote bag, no gems, no logo, just a small bouquet of dried lavender, tied with a delicate ribbon on the strap. But in those quiet gray eyes, there was something that should have made the entire world pause and look closer. The calmness of someone who had weathered storms, yet preserved a gentle heart. In a world built from precious stones, Lena wanted only to reach out and touch one thing: true beauty, not what was in the glass display case, but respect. She walked toward the pink diamond necklace, shining like a lone star in the night sky. Behind the counter, salesperson Madison Kroll glanced up from her iPad, lips tightening into a thin line as she saw Lena. "Hello," Madison greeted, her voice artificially sweet like wine left open too long. Lena nodded lightly, offering an effortless smile. "I'd like to see that pink diamond necklace in the display case." Madison hesitated. Her eyes traveled from Lena's linen dress to her flats, then stopped at the tote bag. A silence lingered long enough for a nearby group of customers to turn and watch. "That's for special customers," Madison replied, her tone as if refusing a street vendor. "Do you even know its price? Or are you just here to escape the sun?" Lena said nothing. She merely touched her bag's strap, gripping it as one grips dignity when it's being trampled. Her eyes remained unchanged, strangely calm. From another corner, a VIP customer, Isabel Grant, was trying on an emerald bracelet and whispered to her companion, "Does she think this is a flea market?" The man in a suit beside her laughed, gently swirling his champagne. "No appointment. No Chanel. Definitely lost." Madison intentionally spoke louder. "This isn't a place where just anyone can come in and demand things. Appearances matter here." Laughter rose soft, yet sharp like tiny knives, slicing through the silence of a soul trying desperately to remain intact. Lena's inner thoughts at that moment. She wasn't accustomed to being treated like this, but it wasn't unfamiliar either. The world had tried to suffocate her with gazes, laughter, and fake authority hidden behind designer labels. Yet she stood here, upright, not because of pride, but because she knew that if she didn't hold onto her dignity, no one else would. "I only wanted to see it," Lena replied quietly yet firmly. "I can buy it, but what I need first is respect." Another employee, Lucas Finn, approached Madison. Smirking, he whispered, but loud enough for nearby customers to hear, "Looks like she might hide something in that bag." Isabel Grant laughed. Someone snapped a photo of Lena standing in the store. A caption appeared in the VIP chat group: "Farmers Market Foundling. LOL." Then, everything escalated faster than Lena had imagined. A coin landed at her feet. Isabel threw it, like tossing a bone to a dog. "Bus fare. Good luck." Lena looked at the coin, then around. No one defended her. No one spoke up. Only clicks from phones, whispers of laughter, and triumphant gazes. She didn't say a word. She merely bent down, picked up the coin, and placed it in her bag. The final shot of this scene was a wide angle, Lena turning her back, walking toward the interior display case, the crystal chandelier's light reflecting off her hair. A small figure within a world valued by gold, yet holding a serenity unmatched by any diamond. The sharp click of Madison's heels followed Lena, like knocks against dignity's door. She quickly stepped ahead, blocking Lena's path toward the exit. "Wait," Madison called loudly, deliberately attracting surrounding eyes. "I need to inspect your bag." Lena froze. For a heartbeat, she felt her pulse drop into emptiness, but her gaze remained unchanged. "Reason. Security policy. We have a feeling something's off." Lucas Finn stepped forward from behind, radio in hand, eyeing the tote suspiciously. Jared, the muscular security guard, appeared too, arms folded. "A bag that big, easy to hide things." Lucas commented, "Just precaution." VIP customers gathered around, whispering. Isabel sneered. "Told you. Just look at her." Someone started filming. Another went live. Lena understood. She had become the centerpiece of a humiliating performance. She opened the bag. Inside was only a notebook, a pen, and an old photo herself and Elliot, smiling on their wedding day. Jared glanced briefly and nodded, but murmured, "Keep your bag visible. Don't let it out of sight." Madison stepped back, smirking. "We have to be cautious. People like you usually have tricks." That statement felt like a slap, not from its volume, but from its intentional cruelty. Lena didn't respond. She simply adjusted her bag strap, nodding slightly, not in agreement, but to end this. But the ending didn't come. A napkin was thrown toward her. Isabel stood there, theatrically. For your tears, surrounding customers burst into laughter, needing no reason, just a victim. Lucas leaned toward Madison's ear. "She could be our next viral post." Madison smiled brightly, as if winning a fashion contest. Lena picked up the napkin, folded it, and put it into her bag, a simple act that silenced everyone. They didn't understand. No one understood the strength quietly growing within this woman. She turned and walked toward the door. No protest, no tears. Yet each step resonated through the ground. She'd been publicly humiliated, yet remained dignified. The atmosphere in De Lumiere grew heavy, as though every ray of sunlight piercing through the glass door had been tinted by prejudice. Lena walked slowly toward the exit, but no one allowed her an easy departure. A voice echoed from behind the counter. "Record her license plate if she steps outside." Madison instructed Jared, deliberately not lowering her voice. Lucas joined in quickly. "Can we check the security footage?" She lingered at the display case for a long time, could easily have done something. A soft ding sounded from someone's phone. The video of Lena being inspected had started spreading online. The caption read, "Thief in linen. LOL." Shares quickly appeared, alongside mocking emojis. Isabel seized the opportunity. Should we call the police? Maybe she hid something in her dress. Lena stood still. Her expression remained calm, but inside, a crack was slowly forming. Lena's inner thoughts. She hadn't anticipated it escalating this far. She merely wanted to look at a piece of jewelry, not beg, not disturb anyone. Yet now, she was a suspect. In their eyes, her simplicity was evidence of deceit, not dignity. A young employee quietly stepped back, lowering her eyes to avoid Lena's gaze, but most of the others did not. Lucas extended his hand, as if politely signaling Lena to stop. He raised his voice so everyone could hear. "Excuse me, could you stay here a few moments? We need to double-check our system." Jared nodded slightly, hand on his radio, as if awaiting a signal. A nearby customer's iPhone pointed straight at Lena from 3 meters away. The camera zoomed onto her face, like delivering a verdict without a trial. Lena raised her gaze, revealing fatigue in her eyes for the first time. "I'm not leaving here with anything except silence." Madison laughed sarcastically. "Good, because there's no way you're leaving with real diamonds." This statement was recorded by a customer and uploaded immediately onto TikTok with mocking music. Des Lumiere, keeping the poor away. Lena nodded. She touched her bag protectively as if shielding the smallest intact pieces of the day. A notebook, a photo, an inner calm no one could take. She continued walking, each step pressing onto the marble floor, the weight of compressed pain. Online, the video spread wider. Comments fell like blades. She definitely stole something. Going to Des Lumiere dressed like grocery shopping, who'd trust her? She clearly had a plan. No one knew her name. No one knew the truth. But they knew how to label, to belittle, to convict using nothing more than a linen dress. Lena Caldwell was no thief. Yet that day, the world decided she was, thus, a woman who had entered simply to touch beauty, left as if cursed in their eyes. Lena paused before the revolving glass door, sunlight streaming across the pristine white marble floor. The rays interwove through her hair, creating a gentle glow that held an invisible strength. Behind her, whispers persisted, imagining she's someone important. Such a show. Typical poor chic's pretender. Who does she think she is, a fairy tale princess? Lena placed her hand on the door handle. She didn't turn back. She didn't need to, because everything they said, every look thrown her way, no longer shook her. Lena's inner thoughts. She'd learned to smile through wounds before, learned to swallow anger to prevent her heart from tearing apart. But this time, she didn't need to. She no longer needed to brace herself. Silence itself was the clearest response. She opened the door and stepped outside. Her linen dress fluttered gently in the wind. The wind didn't know right or wrong, yet it always accompanied those truly free. Behind her, Madison returned to the counter. Lucas nodded to Jared, and the three resumed their chatter as if nothing had happened. Isabel took out her phone, posting a new Instagram story. "This is why we screen our clients." Meanwhile, Lena sat down on a sidewalk bench, gripping her bag gently. She didn't cry. No tears fell. Yet in her eyes, something had changed. She opened her phone and dialed a number. A warm, familiar voice answered. "I'm here." Lena stayed silent a few seconds, then softly said, "I'm okay. They wouldn't let me see the necklace." She hesitated briefly, sighed, and added, "I think you should come." On the other end, the voice shifted from gentleness to commanding authority. "I'm on my way." Lena closed the phone. Placing it in her bag, she rested her hand on the notebook. The last page still unfinished. Written in purple ink was a line. "Kindness doesn't need recognition, just that it not be crushed." A child passing by looked at her, not disdainfully, but curiously. Lena offered the child a gentle smile. At that moment, no one knew that in just minutes, the world would pause because of a woman in a linen dress, and all prejudices would collapse. The deep hum of an engine interrupted Rodeo Drive's usual noise. A sleek black Rolls-Royce Phantom quietly parked in front of Des Lumiere. No one saw the driver's eyes, but the mere sound caused the entire sidewalk to hold its breath. The car door opened. Elliot Caldwell stepped out, his perfectly tailored black suit, broad shoulders, and posture firm like a pillar in a city leaning from prejudice. His face showed no anger, just calm determination, a man accustomed to making silent decisions, each one ringing with change. Behind him, Lena emerged, still in the linen dress, still carrying the faded tote, but this time, no one dared laugh. Des Lumiere's door swung open. reflexively welcoming an invisible force. Customers inside turned around. Some stopped mid-action. Others hid their phones. Madison lifted her head, and her smile instantly vanished. Elliot didn't glance at anyone, except Lena, but his voice deep, cold, clear as a blade through silk. The one who humiliated my wife still works here. Everything froze. Lucas halted his polishing. Jared lowered his radio. Isabel stepped back, feeling gravity shift. Madison stiffened. From the staircase behind, Mr. Laurent, the owner of De Lumiere, rushed down. He'd never seen Elliot appear publicly, yet today, Elliot had arrived personally. Mr. T. Caldwell. I truly didn't know. Elliot turned, gaze penetrating Lawrence' $1 million suit. Your staff insulted my wife, accused her, humiliated her, filmed her, posted online, all while she stood quietly, merely asking to see a piece of jewelry. He approached the main display. Lena stood behind, eyes steady, shining now like uncut diamonds. Elliot signaled. His assistant Laya placed a tablet on the counter. The necklace. Now, Mr. Rull. Lawrence's hands trembled as he opened the display. The $12 million pink diamond necklace was placed in Elliot's palm. No counting money. No checking. No negotiating. Transfer complete, Laya announced. $12 million confirmed. Elliot stepped toward Lena, gently placing the necklace around her neck, not as jewelry, but as an invisible crown. Now she needs no permission. Elliot's voice resonated. No need to bow. No need for acceptance. Because she is enough. The room fell silent. Madison couldn't speak. Lucas turned away, avoiding Elliot's eyes. Isabel gripped her phone, fearing another moment that would crush her. Lena touched the necklace lightly, but her gaze fixed upon Laurent. I don't need them knowing who I am. I only need them treating me like a human being. At that moment, the room realized that the brightest diamond today wasn't in the glass case. It stood there in a woman wearing linen, holding a tote bag, with eyes never bowing to anyone. The moment Elliot placed the necklace around Lena's neck passed silently, but it wasn't an empty silence. It was the kind of silence that follows when something too profound has been spoken. Words left far behind. Lena didn't touch the diamonds. She simply grasped the strap of her tote bag, as always, and breathed slowly. A gentle breeze from the air conditioner brushed softly through her hair, her expression serene as if she weren't standing at the heart of a quiet revolution, but merely standing within herself. Mr. Lauren swallowed nervously. Mr. Caldwell, I'll handle this immediately. Elliot didn't reply. He turned toward Madison, his gaze holding no anger, just a chilling coldness. You laughed in my wife's face, suspected her, humiliated her, publicly. Now, it's your turn to walk out of here. Laya opened her phone, swiftly tapping the screen. Elliot added calmly, no need to submit your resignation. We've already prepared your termination letter. Madison's face drained of color, lips trembling. I didn't know who she was, Lena interrupted gently, speaking for the first time, her voice delicate as mist, but weighty as stone. Not knowing who I am is exactly the problem. You shouldn't need to know someone to respect them. Madison lowered her head. No one defended her. No one laughed anymore. Lucas silently retreated, avoiding everyone's eyes. Jared, the man who ordered Lena's bag inspection, stood still, eyes heavy with guilt. Customers inside, one by one, bowed their heads, not because of Elliot Caldwell's status, but because they had witnessed something extraordinary. A woman belittled, yet not diminished, hurt, yet not weakened, someone who entered with a tote bag and left as a symbol. Lena glanced around, not to accuse, just to remember where she'd been hurt so later. Standing before others like her, she could smile and say, "I've been there." And I kept walking. Elliot nodded slightly. He placed a hand gently on Lena's back, not leading or protecting, simply accompanying. Together, they left the store beneath the brilliant sunset, pouring through the large glass windows. The doors of De Lumiere closed behind them, but the echoes of what had just occurred were only beginning. That night, the video capturing Lena's humiliation and subsequent crowning moment amidst De Lumiere's stunned silence spread across social media like wildfire. Clips were edited, shared, and set to background music, becoming a silent manifesto for justice and humanity. Justice for Lena became Twitter's hottest trend. Millions on TikTok shared the quote, "She doesn't need permission. She is enough." Comments exploded. "This is how a woman strikes back with dignity. No one has the right to judge you for the bag you carry. I am Lena." Madison Kroll was fired permanently. She attempted a tearful apology video, but dislikes outnumbered likes dramatically. The top comment read, "Those aren't tears of remorse. Those are tears for losing your job." Lucas Finn lost a major retail contract due to a lack of respect towards customers. Isabel Grant, the influencer who mocked Lena, lost nearly 60,000 followers in just 3 days. Her next video's comments read, "You threw a coin once. Now life's throwing it back. Missed." Lauren held an emergency press conference, bowing apologetically before the media, but public outrage did not subside. Hundreds left one-star reviews for De Lumiere. "They don't sell jewelry, they sell discrimination." A former employee revealed how staff were pressured to categorize customers based solely on footwear. Another admitted, "We were trained in subtle insults to dismiss unsuitable customers." Lena remained silent. She didn't need to speak further. She posted only one image to Instagram, herself standing quietly on the balcony of a small bungalow, sunlight filtering through the trees, the diamond necklace glittering faintly. The caption read simply, "One stone doesn't make a crown. A woman doesn't need anyone to grant her dignity. She's had it all along." Elliot left a single comment beneath her post. "The world just saw what I've always known." And the world began asking itself, how many times had they unknowingly hurt someone like Lena just because of a linen dress? The incident at De Lumiere didn't merely tarnish one store's reputation, it sparked an industry-wide wave of change. A week after the incident, luxury fashion, jewelry, and cosmetics brands introduced new policies against customer discrimination based on appearance or attire. The media dubbed it the linen effect, the moment one woman in a simple dress forced an entire industry to reflect on itself. Luxury brands, previously known for their exclusivity, began changing advertising strategies. Instead of glamorous models alone, they featured genuine stories women once dismissed, now starring in their campaigns. One famous jewelry house wrote, "We don't ask what you're wearing when you enter. We only care what you carry out inside yourself." Lena received countless invitations for interviews, partnerships, and appearances. She declined all. Instead, she hosted a small press conference at a public library. No glamorous stage, no spotlight, just a microphone and a simple phrase printed on white fabric. "Dignity doesn't need to shout. It only needs to be heard." There, Lena announced the Lumiere Fund, named ironically after the store that humiliated her, dedicated to supporting women facing injustice due to their backgrounds or appearances. Elliot and Lena donated the full $12 million diamond necklace's value to the fund. "We didn't keep the stone, because the brightest thing is not the diamond, but change." Social media exploded with hashtag Lumiere Fund alongside hashtag Justice for Lena. Women shared their own stories, from being ignored in showrooms due to simple attire, to being overlooked in job interviews due to brandless handbags. Lena read every story and replied to every email. She transformed each experience into motivation for training programs, legal support, and community networks. The Rodeo Drive branch of De Lumiere closed permanently after 3 weeks. The chandeliers darkened. The display cases were emptied. Outside, someone placed a handwritten sign: "Don't judge people by reflected light, judge them by the light they carry within." No longer the woman dismissed for her linen dress, Lena Caldwell became known worldwide by a name she never sought but fully deserved: the woman who awakened luxury. At a TEDx talk at Stanford University, the moderator asked her, "Do you consider that humiliation you endured fortunate?" Lena paused briefly, then replied calmly, "No, it was a wound. But sometimes wounds let the light in." The auditorium fell silent, not due to screaming or sorrow, but because her words were quietly profound and piercingly true. Within 3 months, the Lumiere Fund sponsored over 500 soft skills courses, provided legal aid to nearly 200 women, and partnered with 3 major universities to study appearance-based bias in recruitment. The global media called it the Lena Wave. At a Boston mall, a young woman standing in a fashion store texted Lena, "I was refused service, but I remembered you. I didn't leave. I stayed. And finally, they served me with respect." Lena received that message while watering plants in her backyard. She smiled softly and wrote in her notebook, "You don't have to change the world in a day. Making one person believe they deserve better is enough." 6 months later, Lena and Elliot's small home in Bel Air still lit up every night, not with glamorous lighting, but with piano notes, warm laughter, and uninterrupted conversations. The diamond necklace now rested in a glass case at the California Women's Museum, not for its material value, but as a reminder: truth can be insulted, but never defeated. Lena no longer needed explanations. She appeared in photographs with orphaned girls, single mothers, and silenced women, all smiling together. One afternoon, while Elliot repaired a wooden chair in the garden, Lena sat beside him, notebook open on her lap. "Do you think we've done enough?" Elliot looked at her, sunset glowing across his dark hair. "I think we've only just begun." They needed no diamonds, no luxury brands, just each other and a world willing to listen. And that was enough. We often think a person's worth lies in their appearance, expensive clothing, or designer handbags. But Lena Caldwell has shown us that true dignity does not require any of those flashy things. Dignity is what you hold firmly in your heart. Even when the whole world tries to bring you down, remember, you don't need anyone's permission to live according to your true values. Because you, just like Lena, have always been enough.